So, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Peter.
Hello and welcome to Before the Valley. Hello, Nikolai. How are you?
I'm good. Hello.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We haven't recorded in 3 weeks, so it kind of feels like the first time. Not exactly, but it's a bit different than the usual, I would say. So we decided to start this episode by choosing the winner from the giveaway we announced last week. And to do this, we decided to use a random program we found on the internet.
Yeah, but it was the first one we found. It's so basic, but it does the job, so we are happy with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record it on my laptop, and then I'm gonna put the video on the video, like the recording, and people can see that we're not lying and it's actually legit. So I'm starting recording, and this is my screen. It
always seems very legit when you say we're not lying.
Yeah, but like I'm thinking that people will be like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" And like the funny thing is that we have two participants which are very close to us,
yes.
so that
I'll say all of them almost are very close.
I mean, your father and Lilia. Yeah. So it's kind of like if they win, it's gonna seem as if we're lying.
Yeah, we're actually recording this for the 10th time now, just so we have the correct.
Yeah. Okay, so this is all the participants we have: Stefan, Lily, Danny, Heshao. Who's that?
It's my dad. That's Dad.
And Elizabeth. So we have 6 participants, and like as you can see, the program is very simple. I'm just gonna press choose, and it's gonna give us the winner. So drum rolls.
I won't do this because you'll be mad afterwards.
Elizabeth.
Nice.
Okay.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. So we're gonna get in touch with you, and so we can choose the book that you want, right?
Yeah, she can choose the book that she wants, and then we'll just ship the book.
Yeah, I think that she's coming to London, so it's gonna be easier for us. However, something more important is that we are gonna be doing this again
next week as well. Yeah.
I mean, for this episode, we're gonna have new question and new giveaway that we're gonna record next week in the next episode. So what's the question this time?
Yeah, so the question for this time is, what's your craziest self-development or business idea? It could be anything. It could be selling ice to Eskimos. It could be, mining asteroids, which is something that people are actually trying to do. That's on the business side. Or it could be just like, I want to travel 12 countries next year because I want to explore myself more and learn about me as well as other coaches. So that's an example of a self-development tip. Or another thing is like sleeping on the ground. That's something that Stoics used to do.
Yeah. So
this is also something that is a crazy idea that you can try. So do tell us what's your craziest business or self-development idea, and we will give away 2 books next time.
Yeah.
We'll give away 1 book, but you can choose between 2.
Yeah. The books are for our work week, which is a book that I have on my reading list, like it's the next one actually, and How to Win Friends and Influence People, which I've always mentioned has been one of the most influential books for me.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like the one that everybody should read because it has like so many good stuff which they have remained relevant in time, which shows that the book is very good. So this is the second book, and as Peter said, you're gonna be able to choose one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Both are very practical books as well, so I think it's a very good incentive to participate. And as you see, it's very easy to win as well. It's just like 5 to 6 participants last time. So
yeah, it depends. Next time might be more, but you have to answer the question which Peter mentioned. So what's a crazy idea, a business idea or self-development idea that you have in mind that you haven't yet started, or you might have, and you have to subscribe to our channel. That's the second requirement. But yeah, that's for the giveaway. We're going to do one next week as well, and hopefully we're going to continue doing those every week. Yeah. Because we're going to be more consistent from now on, as I'm back in London. We're happy to be here, and this is going to provide us with more opportunities for podcasts and other stuff, which we're going to be sharing with you.
Yeah, so do tell us, why weren't we consistent when you were back in Bulgaria?
Man, Bulgaria is something that it just had a bad effect on me when it came to productivity, when it came to doing work or, doing stuff that were related to self-development. I just let the flow lead me, and the flow in Bulgaria is a bit bad because everybody wants to have fun, everybody wants to enjoy themselves. And on the other hand, I was seeing it as, okay, as I shared with you, I'm here for 1 month, so it's okay for me to prioritize this stuff because I'm going back to London, but I didn't find the right barrier between both stuff, which led to me prioritizing the self-indulgence, like, you know, having fun to work.
Getting in extremes, basically.
And it was bad because now coming back, I have to catch up with all the stuff. And I don't think that's a healthy thing to do. Like, if you go back home and you know that you have to chill, it's okay because that's the only thing that you're going to be doing. But when you have to balance between both and you're not able to, then it becomes bad.
Because you have to, exactly. If you have tasks that you just delay, then it's a bulk of things you have to do when you come back. So you're recharged, but you have to do so much that you feel exhausted after a week of coming back.
And I feel that, like, I was feeling guilty all the time that, I'm going out again. I like to go out, but at the same time, I'm leaving so much behind, especially when it came to like work, Explorer. Kasper shared this. I didn't update like my campaigns for 10 days, which is something that I have never done before that. And I was always, you know, one day I had to do them late at night and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do it the next day. Then the next day something happens. And
and you can't do it.
And then it's like 10 days. Kasper messaging me, what's up, Nikolai? What's going on?
Are you even working for us? What's going on?
But that's the thing. And now being back, you know, as soon as I arrived, I felt, okay, now it's work time. Now it's like, because there are also less distractions here, especially now when I'm in quarantine, not going out and living, like staying by myself because there isn't anybody in the flat yet. But I have more time to just think, oh, okay, what they have to do, what they have to catch up with, and so on.
This leads me to my first question, by the way.
All right, good.
So my first question would be, we got some feedback and people were interested. What's our schedules? Like, what do we do on a daily basis? And more specifically, what's the interesting thing in our schedules, I would say, because we do a lot of the things that, you know, people usually do, but we try to incorporate some self-development and business productivity things in it. So what will be your day?
My daily schedule, like now?
Let's say your ideal routine day.
Okay, cool. So the thing is that when I wake up, I used to. So I'm gonna describe my routine day, my perfect routine before going back to Bulgaria, because it's a bit different when I went back. So first thing in the morning, meditate. I was doing this for a month or 2 months, then I stopped. But it was essential thing because it gave me more clarity in terms of what I need to do. And it was just give me some peacefulness that was making me more able to perform better during the day. Then something important, which I mentioned in one of the videos, trigger coffee. It's like, I don't feel the need to have coffee that much, but I have it as a trigger, you know. As soon as I take the coffee, I start doing work. Then I do work, Explorer, most probably, or I focus on Kaleo, like the other venture that we have. If I know that, let's say for Explorer, I can delay the work until later. And then I do the other, like I'll alternate between both. And, you know, late at night depends on if I have more tasks, if I can, you know, relax a bit. And that's my daily schedule. And at night before going to sleep, my other habit, which I have been building, is reading books. So every night before going to sleep, I read 5, 10, 15 pages, like depending on how tired I am. But consistently doing this leads to me reading a book every month, which I've been doing this, apart from last month. Like, what's your daily routine? I've been doing this, apart from last month. So that's it. And the thing is that now when I'm working part-time, I still have the flexibility of, you know, managing my time. Similar to when I was in university, where, you know, I had all the freedom. And something which I've been thinking that I'm not sure if that's the better thing for me, or I need something which is restricting me. It's like a must. Okay, now you must go to work from 9 to 5 or 9 to whatever it is. Because when I have all the flexibility, sometimes I feel that, okay, I have so much to do, I'm not able to prioritize. And this has been going for 4 years now, 3 years and a half since I've been in university. So I really want to try the other part of the, you know, the schedule where it's more restricted. And that's it. What about yours? Because
yeah, sure. I'll tell you mine. I was just thinking, I think the future of work in general is flexibility. I think, because what I find is, especially with since I I came back to my corporate job, is a lot of the things can be done flexible as well. So for example, I would use my lunch break earlier, let's say, or I would use it later. I would spend like 20 minutes of this doing like meditating or something like this. And I wouldn't be that strict with my schedule. And I think, and I've been doing more stuff for my corporate job. I'm able to do more stuff. And I feel like in the future, with all the technology that we have, it would just be very easy to be flexible, because back then, you would have, work was, the production you make was very correlated with how much time you worked. Yeah. Let's say when you were working in a factory or whatever. But now with technology and with more people involvement, with more creativity involvement, I feel like it's very important to have the freedom as well. Yeah. And I find it in my current job. So that's something to touch on. And then for my schedule, I think it's pretty similar to yours in terms of meditation, let's say, because I meditate as well.
Cool.
But
how are you finding meditation? Because we've discussed this. Mm-hmm. What's the reason for which you meditate, and what impact has it have on?
Do you remember this episode with Tim Ferriss had with the actor?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, exactly. So he was talking with Hugh Jackman, and he was saying, I remember something else. So Hugh Jackman was saying, I used to do it as a chore, almost not chore, but like something as a task. So I would do it in the same way. But recently I found out Eric Andre, the comedian, he recently said something very interesting. It's almost like hunger for meditation. So during the past several days, it's almost like I'm hungry for meditation around midday. So for example, yesterday, it was even in the morning. I didn't do meditation for like 2 days, and then I wake up, I was like, I need to meditate. I was like getting excited about sitting at one place and just doing nothing. Yeah, and I just did it. It felt amazing. So this is something I do either in the morning or midday, depends on how I feel mostly. So this is one thing I try to do. A big thing for me is tasks and task tracking. And Casper is actually reading a book about Surrounded by Idiots. That's how the book is called.
Is it the one with the colors?
Yeah, exactly. Categorizes people. And for me, I'm yellow and blue. That's the two colors. Yellow is like very, I get easily excited. I guess I'm not that enthusiastic, but emotional. And then you have blue, which is like very analytical. Yeah. So that would be my two colors. So one of them, the blue side, is very task oriented. So I'm very task oriented. It's almost annoying at some point because.
What do you mean by task oriented?
Task oriented is like you define the work you're going to do, you put it as a task, and then you try to complete that thing. Yeah. So you try to, let's say, do everything you can to complete the thing, which is not always good because, for example, Hemingway, he would never finish the tasks. So he can continue working on the task the next morning and give himself some inertia.
So you're kind of like, if you have a task, you have to complete it at all cost, or what?
Almost, yeah. Almost that's how I feel. Even if I like work on it and I'm not completing it, I'm like, I feel genuine pain, yeah. And also another thing is sometimes I would add more tasks just because I feel happy when I complete tasks, when I see I've completed something. Which is, again, it's not that good because sometimes you would add unnecessary things. Yeah. It's very easy to fall. Even today, I was going to add something calculating the minimum criteria for success for the company. And I thought I won't have time for this. Better not add it because, I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah. I'm adding it just for the sake of adding more things.
I think I dropped it. Yeah, this makes sense because when you complete tasks, even though that they might be very small, they give you this sense like fulfillment that you have done something. And I saw a meme the other day which was like a big stone, and behind it there were like small stones, and the big stone was like this important task which you really need to do, and then the small stones were like insignificant tasks. Yeah. And what you do, you focus on them because every single one, it's easier to complete it. It gives you like better results sooner. Yeah. I mean, you see straight after completing something, you see the results. And the big one, it takes some more time, it takes some more effort. So it's kind of like.
But man, I think it's not even that. It's not even a big stone. Sometimes it's like a very obvious small stone, but how you see it, you have like these big glasses which magnify the thing, and you associate negative emotion with it. For example, doing my taxes, I got fined £1,300, by the way, just because I was dealing my taxes so much. Because I hate dealing with government stuff. I just hate it. I can't stand it. So I delayed it so much that I got fined. But that's a different story. So this is just an example of how you can... I was doing other stuff, but then this is this one big thing, which is actually took me like, half an hour, 1 hour to do. It's like a small task, but you have a negative emotion associated with the thing.
Which is why you don't do it.
That's why you don't do it, yeah. And very often that's the things you need to do because they're outside your comfort zone. So first of all, there are things which are very important, but you haven't done just because you're bad at them and they bring you discomfort.
Yeah.
But there are small things that you need to do. And second, they improve you as well. Because very often stuff that feel uncomfortable to do are what's important. So now I try to, after reading the 4-hour work week, I try to focus on the most essential. And even if the most essential, even if I associate it with negative emotion, I still try to do it. So yesterday, for example, I canceled my self-employment status, which is something I had to do in a long time. But I was like, okay, I need to do this while I'm on holiday. So I just sat down and did it. And I try to improve. And today I removed a task which I wouldn't be able to finish today, just so I can focus on what's the primary focus. So this is task tracking. I guess my point is, it's a very important thing in my team. Just strategizing early in the morning when I wake up. I open a spreadsheet. I start putting down what I have to do today and what I need to do. And then another thing is task tracking. So I would track how much time I spend on each task, just so I don't spend too much time on them and or even too little in that sense.
And do you use how they use it? I mean, let's say you see that you spend 2 hours to do something, and then the next day you spend 1 hour to do something else. I mean, what's the end point of all of this?
So the end point is to be consistent with how much time I spend on things I intend to do. That's the first thing. So I would have overall time spent. And then at the end of the month, I haven't done this, but that's the idea behind it. I would reassess my month and see how much time I've spent in working on our startup, how much time I spent on my corporate job, how much time I spent on exercising even and building communication skills, let's say. And then next month I'll try to work around
so you can improve
a better prioritization. Yeah, exactly. And on a day-to-day basis, I've noticed it keeps me very focused on the right things. So for example, if I see I haven't done exercising, it's very easy to see because you just go down, oh, that's empty. The box is empty again. Oh, it's empty for a second time. Or this very important task for the startup. Oh no, it's empty for a third day, let's say. So you kind of see what you're missing out. And these are the important things that you're missing out. So task tracking helps you do that. And it's also allowing me, when I'm tracking the time I spend, it allows me to say, oh, okay, even if I feel that I haven't spent too much time on this task, there's the proof. I spent like an hour and a half and that's too much for this task. So I gained this information, let's say in research. Now I need to start working on it, even if I don't feel
ready.
Ready, exactly. So that kind of builds my confidence, that I spent enough time. And the last thing, of course, is once I start time tracking, I just open and I see, oh, I spent an hour. What am I doing? Like I'm not focusing on the right thing. So that immediately serves as reprioritize.
Wake-up call as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the second thing I would say, time tracking, and then meditation time tracking. It depends on the day, to be fair. I would work on the startup most often, but I would just start doing stuff for the startup, or have meetings. I would build my schedule usually around meetings and I would try to book stuff. So that's my routine usually. And from my corporate job, it depends how I feel. I almost see it, I was thinking today as a game where I would strategize at the beginning of the day and then try to optimize myself to complete tasks.
Well.
Yeah. Something Warren Buffett mentions as well. That's how he sees work. But I would say meditation, task tracking, reading as well. I try to read on a daily basis. It just keeps my mind straight. I feel like I'm clear, and especially with meditations that I'm reading. And then it's just strategizing your day is very important for me because my routine is very messy. I do a lot of things, so I need to change my routine very often. I feel like,
Yeah, cool. I mean, that's interesting, and it leads me. I have many follow-up questions on yours, but it's gonna take a long time to answer all of them. like my question, it's not a question, something that I've been thinking about yesterday because I listened to a podcast of Tim Ferriss. It was about decisions. And I think that like decision fatigue and the whole idea of that every single day is depending on the decisions you make, like whether I'm going to work on the startup, whether I'm going to, make breakfast or something like this now, as something which is very essential. Like the way you take decisions is very important. And I have some notes which I have from the podcast. Like I wasn't sure if we're going to discuss today, but like he was discussing how that we can reduce the decision fatigue on a daily basis, which I think now, like, because you're in a similar situation that I am, like you have a lot of flexibility with that you're working from home. It's not like you go into your job being limited in terms of the stuff that you can do apart from it. Like you cannot, when you go to your job, you cannot, okay, I'm going to cook now. Oh, no, I'm going to take a nap, or no, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. You have to be there and you have limited number of choices. While now you have all the flexibility and the decisions you make are essential as well. So like he described 3 main points when it comes to how can you take better decisions. And one of them is that you have to minimize your variables. So he used a very good illustration for it. He described cooking. That's like when you cook, you can mess up things. If you do, let's say, some dish and you put all the spices, you do like everything you put in it, in the end, there is very big chance of it going bad. But if you use the combinations which you know are going to work, the chance of it being a good dish are higher. So like he described, when you use tomato, you put basil. If you use like pork, you put rosemary or like something that he described. I don't know.
If you eat rice, you put cucumber.
That's a reference to Casper.
This is my flatmate. That's all he eats. That's why I'm
But yeah, like having less choices or less variables to choose from as the way that you can reduce like decision fatigue, because you don't have to make that many choices. Let's say you go to cook, you like this is an illustration, but you put tomato, you straight away know, basil. So like this is something that, let's say, I relate it now to the trigger, coffee, work. After I put my coffee, it's not the next, what should I do now? No, I know straight away I should start working. So that's point 1. Point 2 is that take less decisions so that you can reserve it for when it counts. So like when it's more important. And he mentioned one experiment that like there were 2 groups of people. One of them were made to make choices before the real experiment. So like they had to choose between a carrot and a tomato, between a book and TV. And they had to make several choices. The other one went straight away to the experiment. And then they tested, okay, which one are going to be more resilient? And they put their hand in an ice bucket, because he said this is like probably the most like famous test for resilience. And the ones that were not making choices managed to maintain their hand for longer. Like, and it was on average like this. So this shows that when you make choices, then your ability to make choices when you really have to do them is like diminishes, like it's worse. So like this is why he's saying, well, when you wake up in the morning, don't spend time thinking, what should I wear today? Or what should I eat today? Have this, prepared beforehand, or have a schedule. I'm eating only eggs and I don't know, bacon, or I'm eating oats with milk. So you notice every single day. So like you have less choices to make, which leads to you making better choices afterwards.
No, this is an amazing tip, I feel like.
And the third one, we can discuss them afterwards, is have a set of rules so that you can take better decisions more consistently. So like this was, I don't know if you know this guy, Naval. He's very famous.
I think so, yeah. He's like a productivity coach.
Yeah, he's a venture capital productivity coach, high achiever. But he was describing that we need to have rules, which Tim Ferriss mentioned as well, in order to be making better choices more consistently, because the rule that you have, or the structure,
saves
time, and it's also made when you're like consciously thinking about it. Like, okay, for breakfast I'm gonna have this because it has protein, it has fiber, it has XYZ. And you know that like this is the system, this is the rule which you have, and it's based on something that you have already thought about. While if you wake up and what should I have today? Should I have bread with something else? And you have like you enter this decision fatigue process.
Yeah.
Which leads to decision fatigue, and eventually you might make bad decisions.
Yeah.
So these were his rules, and because I was thinking about this, that now when I have more flexibility, the decisions which I make on a daily basis are very important, and they in the long term are gonna define what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I was making my schedule and my plans for the next few months, and I was thinking, okay, in the morning I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna do this, which I don't have pre-thought.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very chaotic.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, what do you think about decisions, and about all these points?
Because you gave the example with food and then the 3 rules. So for me, the principle is keto diet, and then I would have the products already, because I buy for 4 days usually. So I'd have the products in my fridge. I wouldn't even think. I know I have to have an app that tracks my how much time I'm fasting. So once the fasting is finished, I just go put on the pan. Don't even think about it. So I can associate with this very well. Yeah, I think I'm trying to put as little thought into what I eat on a daily basis as I can. But then I have already decided what I'm gonna do in the longer term. So it's very easy in that way.
You have a system to follow.
Exactly, yeah. And I think I agree with this. And this is like, the experiment is so interesting, because I feel like when I make a lot of decisions, even setting up the studio, I feel like it has an effect on the way I create the podcast afterwards, the way I communicate afterwards. I remember some of the episodes, we spent so much time of like fixing cameras and stuff, that when you start the episode, you're almost out of energy.
Yeah.
And you can't focus that much on what you're doing. So I think this is a very good example, the experiment with the ice bucket as well, that you're less resilient when you make too much effort, just because that psychologically tires you. And when you're tired, you're usually less likely to sustain.
To do well.
And do complete tasks well. Yeah, exactly. So that's very interesting. I've never heard about it.
Now I'm thinking that because you mentioned several times the 2 systems.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to the Thinking Fast and Slow book.
Yeah.
And in it, he described something similar. It was more of a, theoretical way that you have the 2 systems. And when you put one of the systems in work, the second system starts working less. It's less capable of performing well. Let's say that you're performing a task and you're setting up the studio, you're thinking a lot about it.
Yeah.
Then the next decision which you have to make is going to be, with a worse outcome, or like you're going to be less capable of making a better decision.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like related to it. It's interesting to see that there is like some correlation between the 2 stuff, because when we were doing it, it's like, oh, I don't know what happened, I was just tired, or exactly. But then now you see, oh, there's correlation between my actions before that and what I do.
Yeah, exactly. And then you make mistakes of other parts of the studio as well, just because you spend so much time on fixing the camera that you forget to turn on the mic or whatever. Yeah.
It's like you have some stamina when it comes to decisions.
It's like a game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when you put effort on the insignificant stuff, you have less stamina for the significant stuff.
Exactly.
Nice. Cool.
So that's why you need like mena potions, like coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what's your next question, Peter?
Okay, so my next question will be, what is something that you need to let go of, but still haven't?
Oh, what's this question?
I don't know, man. You introduced me to email list before the podcast, and there were some interesting questions in that email list, and I kind of picked one of them.
Something that that I know I have to let go of, but still haven't.
Yes.
I don't know,
because we were talking about, getting rid of distractions, I guess, and getting rid of unnecessary work, getting rid of unnecessary items even. So it could be something like this even.
Yeah, this was a good tip, good guidance in terms of what the answer should be. I would say the distractions in terms of social media and my telephone.
Yeah.
This is like the thing that I'm like fully aware I need to leave this when I have to do something else.
Just to say, I send the meme, 2 seconds afterwards, it's seen. Like he has seen the meme. The meme is liked. I get 10 more memes.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, Casper, I forgot to update the campaigns. 10 days later. Yeah. But the thing is that the phone is such a big distraction. The bad thing is that I use it for work as well.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for me to somehow, I don't know how should I describe it, but have certain apps and certain, features of them that I can use while working, and the rest to be on incognito mode.
Yeah.
But that's impossible. So that's why I would say that's not the perfect answer thinking about it now. But like distractions in general, which impact the way I work, is something that's it's a hard question, man.
Yeah, but I think this is a good answer because it also makes you think how can you overcome it. So something that comes to mind now is like having two phones. I know you have an old phone as well, so you can use the old phone for like work.
For work related stuff.
Yeah, exactly, and then you use the new one for personal stuff. Because I can see that if I was working on my phone, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over. Yeah,
that's a good solution, because what I was referring to when it comes to the features, let's say on Instagram, I'm logged in on 10 profiles and I use one of them for work, the other one for, it's my personal, but I still get the notifications from my personal account, and I don't want to mute them because afterwards I might, miss something important, when I'm not working. But that's a good solution. I would say that, those type of distractions like my phone, it's leading to my performance being way worse. That, I don't know why I'm still avoiding taking actions to come up with a solution.
Yeah, because it's very subtle with these things. Because you spend like 15 minutes and then it's like, oh, it's over. But then, because I really thought on this, how does this make me feel? And I've noticed social media, usage of social media. I've noticed once I start using my phone, I become very resentful. It's a stretch, so to speak, saying this, but I tried to pay attention to how I feel while using it. So the more I stood on the couch and the more I browsed, the more annoyed, irritated, resentful towards everything I started feeling. So it's like, okay, this is not good to do. So now when I remember this thing, it's very easy for me to just close it and throw it away. And my way of thinking is, because the resentment and the irritation and anger won't go away immediately. Yeah. That you're not doing something else, but you're being distracted. It won't go away immediately, but you also need to be aware that this is a very, very short period of time that you're going to feel this way. So it's like, I'm going to feel like this in the next 5 minutes, but I'm not using my phone anymore. I'm not getting distracted. I don't get into these dopamine loops. So I'm going to feel much better in some time after I get to doing tasks or even doing something else. Like it could be something you do for fun, like listening to music. I feel like that helps me as well.
So you kind of like when you feel bad because of doing something, which you mentioned this way, like social media.
Yeah.
You accept the fact that this is going to last for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes, but you're no longer using your phone. And
the emotion is going to continue. Yeah. Because I know because I feel like people, once they get into the dopamine loops, it's over. You can't escape because you need the dope. Like there's no way out. More of it. Yeah. The only way out is to feel sad, to feel unhappy. That's the only way because there's no dopamine. So you just need to accept, okay, I'm already in this. I'm going to feel unhappy no matter what. Yeah. The only way to not feel unhappy is to get the notification or thing that's going to make me happy, that's going to produce more dopamine in my brain, which can even magnify the whole process. Yes. So if once you accept that, I know I'm going to be unhappy for the next 5 minutes. I just know it. I'm going to feel angry. So I just throw my phone away. And I'm like, okay, let's wait this to, cool off.
Yeah, because sometimes you just want to restart and okay, I'm feeling unhappy because
you can restart. I know that feeling. I can't even, sometimes I'll do meditation at that point just to cool off.
Makes sense. Because meditation is kind of like the restart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because you actually have the time to think what's going on and you ignore those insignificant stuff and you enter a more peaceful moment, which is without those external triggers or emotions or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Even I would say a tip for me is just accept the short-term unhappiness. That's how you get out of these distractions, I would say.
Yeah.
And like also that means that's not just a negative acceptance, it's also a positive because it's short-term. It's gonna go away. It's always like, this is so insignificant. Like the phone is such a huge hindrance for, I feel like, for people being productive.
Not only productive. You mentioned
happy,
happiness, like state of mind. It impacts us negatively because, sorry for interrupting you, but like this guy, Naval.
Yeah.
He was like, I listened to a podcast from him today, and he was just describing happiness, which is, I'm gonna try to jump onto its next question, but he said that currently with all the distractions which we have, with all like the comparison that we're doing on social media, it leads to us being unhappy, and therefore happiness is not something that should come from like an external source.
Yeah.
He said that that's a skill that we have to develop in order to feel happy.
Yeah, I agree completely. You need to find the tools that make you happy. For me, it's exercising, meditation, getting rid of distractions.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say the short-term unhappiness from your phone, it just bundles. It gets into 15 minutes now. Just do like 30 minutes of work, unproductive work, because you feel irritated, annoyed. You need the dopamine. Then you check your phone again. Oh, more 15 minutes of unhappiness. That over a long period, that makes an unhappy week, and then that turns into depression. Yeah.
It impacts stuff. It's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's butterfly
like
effect,
you feel unhappy and you do something bad in your workplace, or whatever it is, your relationship with other people. You say like something bad to somebody.
Yeah,
it's because of the 15 or 10 minutes unhappiness, which leads to more unhappiness because the bigger effect, and then it's more and more.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's the thing I found myself helping me is like accept. You're going to feel disappointed from yourself, unhappy, irritated, annoyed, but it's going to last for 10 minutes maybe. That's
a good idea. I like it.
Yeah.
Nice one.
What I do, once I do that, I lock my phone and I throw it away just so I don't...
It's like the bad thing. Oh, you again, I'm feeling happy, throw it.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't have much time, but I wanted to jump to this question because I think it's an important one. It's about happiness that I just mentioned. So... Lily, like recently we had a talk, and I was describing like what we're doing with Kaleo, that we have 3 more restaurants, and I said, yeah, Peter did a good job, but we need more. There is something which I want to achieve in order to feel fulfilled and happy. It's that, like, come on, you're achieving stuff on a daily basis. You need to be happy about all of these. And the podcast from today, that happiness is not external, it's something that should come from within.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, wait, I need to really think about the stuff that make me happy on a daily basis and enjoy it, because life is not eternal. You have limited amount of time. So he described, what makes me happy: caffeine, coffee. Like I drink coffee and I just, the smell and everything makes me happy. And you have to think about all these stuff, train yourself to think actively about them, so that you don't focus on the rest, which is, okay, we achieved X, Y, Z and I need more in order to feel happy.
Yeah.
No, it's like, you might not achieve more, therefore you're gonna be happy for the rest of your life, or what?
Yeah. That's extremely a very good tip, and I feel like these things are stuff that you have to, as you said, pay attention to. For example, like for me, I found out talking with people makes me very happy, so I try to do it. I think I've lived my life thinking I'm very introverted, and recently I'm finding out I'm actually much more extroverted, and I feel like I just didn't pay attention to talking with people, opening myself up. Makes me feel good. I never thought about it. And that's, by the way, just something to mention, because you thought you're always thinking about the future. That's something yellow people do, because I think you're yellow as well from the book.
Just to mention, those colors are like, each of them represents different qualities.
Yes,
so like
different types of people.
Thinking about yourself, you put yourself in one of the like categories. It could be, Casper said, 90% of people, or like
80% of people have 2 colors.
Yeah.
15% of people have 3 or 4 colors, and just 5% of people have just 1 color.
Yeah, exactly. So like you think, we can link this in the bio. So like there's a picture on Google that each color set has like the qualities, the good and the bad ones, like negative and positive, and then you just put yourself in one of them. And the reason for this is that knowing what type of person you have when it comes to colors, you're being able to deal with them better.
Yeah, exactly. You can communicate with them better. Exactly.
Yeah. So I just want to insert this because we're speaking about colors, and people would be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a good point. I should have brought it up. But Yes, just to continue on this. So yeah, first of all, you are very extroverted. I feel like you're extroverted as well. I wouldn't say I'm very extroverted, but I definitely associate myself more with extroversion now. And the other thing I want to say is that they are very future oriented, which how the book splits it is like present oriented, future oriented, and past oriented people. So for example, blue people are past oriented. They're very analytical. They analyze data, historical performance, whatever that will be me. I like to do that, but I'm also very future oriented. I would ignore doing the dishes just because I know I have to work on something that's going to bring me happiness in the future. So just an example. So my point being, you as yellow and being future oriented, you would always think about, the future and how you can find happiness there. And that might be a threat because you would avoid thinking of the present and how you can make yourself happy now.
But then like stoicism comes in. And it's
and you have to, stoicism.
So these are like this kind of stuff that, are your colors fixed? They shouldn't be, right?
I think you can. I try to be more red recently. Red is like present oriented, very decisive, very fast thinkers. So you can acquire qualities from other colors.
Yeah, because thinking about it now, if you know that, let's say you're future oriented, and because you have the negative sides of the colors, you can think, what should I do? Then I need stoicism, or I need something which is going to bring me more to the present, and you do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole point is that, like, thinking about the next steps or the external factors, which like social media as well.
Yeah.
It cannot make you happy, so you have to see what makes you happy. And if it's like, I don't know, it could be very simple stuff.
Yeah.
Which your philosophy teacher is going to say, no, these are not simple.
Yeah. My philosophy teacher used to say, she would have a whole argument how the small things are not actually
the small
things. And she would like slap us. And no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, he's not. He's not kidding.
It's Bulgaria. That's how we did.
Uga buga, as Kasparov would said.
Yeah.
Well, all right, cool. So we can end this here because it's like 40 something minutes. And
this was a long one, but we don't have I think we lost it. I think we lost the conciseness.
No. We also did the introduction to the giveaway. We did the giveaway.
Maybe
so it was like 5 or 6 minutes. So we're still around that. But yeah, we're going to work on this. And now being more consistent is going to enable us to improve more. So yeah, I mean, this was the episode for today. Don't forget to participate in the giveaway if you're still watching the video. And what you have to do is answer a question, which is, what's a crazy business idea or self-development, which could be, I want to travel for 12 months. I want to, sleep on the floor for 1 day, or I want to be, to experience an environment where I don't have anything, like living on rice and lentils.
And just cucumber.
Yeah. Well, Kasper, okay, no problem, man.
Kasper's like, that's what do you mean? How
is this crazy? How is this crazy?
Yeah.
But and subscribe to our channel, and we're gonna announce the winner next week as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, cool.
So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you
next week.
You'll see them next week. I don't know why I said I see you.
Yeah,
we'll see you next week.
He was like, this means that he has some plans to execute me, but we'll see how this goes.
Maybe it's a solo episode. Maybe he disappears. We'll see.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.